Track 33. Now turn to section 3 on page 64 of your book. You will hear two students talking about a research project they are doing on the topic of recycling. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
Across clearly and concisely on the page is something I find quite tricky.
OK, I'm up for that. As long as you see to compiling the references and appendices, that calls for your sort of analytical brain.
It's a deal.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
So, tell me what you saw at the recycling plant.
Well, I saw how electronic waste is dealt with.
You mean computers, TVs and stuff?
Exactly.
Does it all get recycled then?
Mostly. Some things which contain toxic materials, and so can't be recycled or reused, go directly to the direct destruction area. But everything else goes into a room where somebody plugs them in and switches them on to see if they work. What they call the testing area.
You mean people throw out perfectly good equipment?
That's right. If it still works or can be put right with a bit of simple maintenance, it can go to the redistribution centre for use by charities and schools and people who couldn't afford new stuff.
Cool. So what happens to the other things which can't be redistributed? What route do they follow?
Well, those items are classed as beyond repair, and they then get assessed and broken down into their constituent parts.
Dismantled, you mean?
Exactly. That happens in the dismantling area. And of course, not all the parts are capable of being recycled, so the next stage is a segregation area, where stuff is divided up into what's recyclable and what isn't.
So the unrecyclable materials get destroyed?
I guess so. I didn't see that part of the process. Anyway, they get removed, and that happens in the segregation area. The same happens to very specific materials that can be recycled directly.
Like?
Well, printer inks, photocopier toner, that sort of stuff has specific chemicals in it that can be recycled as they are. You know, the residues. They're called imaging consumables, so there's a special unit handling those. Another thing that gets special treatment is computer screens, monitors and stuff like that.
There's a special type of recycling known as CRT that applies to them.
That's right. Then the plastics and metals have their own recycling units and get reduced to little pellets or melted down.
Right. So, really impressive.
Brilliant, actually. I can't wait to start work on the flowchart.
Track 33.
Collins English for Exams. Listening for IELTS. Copyright HarperCollins Publishers 2011. CD 2. Track 1.
Hi, James. How's your alternative energy research project going?
To be honest, I'm a bit confused about how to do the research for all the different energy types.
Well, the first thing you do is to make sure you focus your question, otherwise you'll have too much to read and you won't be able to select the key arguments.
So how do I do that?
Start with the general topic of alternative energy and then keep asking questions until you've narrowed the topic down to one particular area. Then, when you have your question, make a list of the reading you will need. This list should be general to give you some background, but remember you'll need to focus on the issues related to the question, so the reading list should also be specific to the actual energy source you've chosen, whether it's wind or solar or wave power.
And then start reading?
Absolutely. You need to start straight away, but don't forget to make notes as you read. Otherwise you won't be able to keep track of ideas for future reference purposes.
Yes, that makes sense. I think that's my main problem. I don't recall where I've read different ideas, so I can't find them again later. And my friends have warned me that not recording ideas in a system can really hinder your progress.
Your friends are right. It's a common problem amongst students. You need a system. Anyway, once you've done the reading and made all your notes, you need to organise them so that you can analyse and think about what you've read.
But I prefer to just start writing and then go back and look at my notes later.
I wouldn't recommend it. I think you need to give yourself more time to digest the material and arrange it into some kind of system ready for analysis in terms of relevance to your research question.
Well, that's a great help. Thank you, Professor Jenkins.
You're welcome. Come and see me again if you have any more problems.